Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. In this episode, we are going to travel into the city of Motare, Kōzi, and try to complete the quest that was given to us by the prince in Nakataka. So, without further ado, let's head on in. Okay, so we've made it to the ruins. There is one thing I want to change while we are here. I want to change up the chance for the ranger. So I want to have one of these with both sure-handed and then old sick. Okay. Okay, so things we need to keep in mind is that Edar is still injured. So we do need to make sure that he can fire from range, because I don't want him to be in the mix of things and then die.
Of course.
Alright, so let's head on in. Oh, there's somebody right there.
Help! Please! Complanka! Help me!
Thorn-covered vines encircle this Valayan woman, constricting around her in a deadly embrace. Her speech gets cut short as one of the vines about her midsection tightens its hold, nearly forcing the breath from her lungs. Gritting her teeth, she braces against the vines and fights to steal back some breathing room.
Pazzo! Stinking weed!
What happened to you?
Director Castle sent us. We were shadowing a Juana expedition, trying to figure out what they were after.
Her gaze wanders toward the outer limits of the visible ruin.
Corpses, all of them. But we couldn't turn our backs on the mission, so we went deeper into the jungle.
What did you find?
North of here, there is a golden disc, big, heavy thing. One of my mates took a piece of it. Everything went wrong after that. Something took us while we rested. Oh gods. I woke up and there was a flower growing out of my Casita's mouth. I started pulling weeds out from between his teeth. Then I got hit from behind and woke up here.
You mentioned something about a golden disc?
We didn't learn much. It was already missing a piece by the time we got here. The most I saw were a bunch of Juana's scribblings. I wager it was what the other expedition came to find. Not that their luck was any better than ours.
Let's see if we can do something about those vines. As you resolve to deal with the vine once and for all, the spine of thicket green begins to glow with a pale, calming light.
Thank you. Only I don't know how we're going to manage it.
If I pull the larger vines away, could you squirm out of there?
Maybe. This vine is squeezing me hard enough to make a chore of it. But I am needing all the help I can get.
I'm gonna pull the vine with my hands.
Madiko! The damn thing is getting tighter.
Belita winces and grits her teeth with determination.
I hope that you have a strong grip, Sere, or this could end poorly for me.
I am pretty strong. Stronger than you might guess, Sierra. Let's do this. You brace yourself and grab hold of the thickest vine, careful to avoid the worst of the thorns. Your grip on the vine remains steadfast. As you tear and wrench away at it, something in the limb of the plant flexes like a muscle of its own. In time, it relents, relaxing its hold on the Valiant explorer. Suddenly, you feel a crawling sensation in the back of your head.
Fiend, remove yourself from our domain.
Disembodied voice batters your mind like a hailstorm before swiftly departing.
I think that did it. Agrasima.
She struggles to her feet with pain groan, massaging aches all over her body.
Our ship landed on the other side of the island, but I am the last of the crew, and I cannot sail her alone. May I join your voyage? I do not care where we make port, as long as it is far from here.
Welcome to the crew. I'll see you on the ship. And with that, we do increase our reputation with the Valayan Trading Company.
Ak Casita! I will see you on board.
Snapping to a sharp salute, Baltia manages a pained but genuine grin. So she is now a part of our crew?
If I was mad enough to tarry a moment longer, I would walk with a quiet step.
Why is that?
The Pugra who guard this jungle get edgy whenever anyone steps near their trees.
Okay, it's good to know. At least we know what we're facing.
I'm here.
All right, let's move on and try to find some more people if we can. She did mention also we need to find a disc. Okay, there's somebody up here, but let's talk to this soul first so we can get some more information.
Indeed.
This lingering soul drifts in a lazy, hypnotic fashion. Does not seem to know or care that its life has been extinguished. That golden wheel weighed as much as Aoth's thumb, but you weren't leaving without a souvenir. Something to put a smile on Director Castol's face. Then your boots crunched a soft femur in half, and you remembered, wasn't this island supposed to be abandoned? Maybe you didn't beat the Hawana expedition in getting here. Suddenly, the gold felt like a dead weight. You rolled it into a cave for safekeeping. You didn't make it 10 paces toward the beach before something big, all crooked limbs and fetid breath, plucked you off your feet. When she squeezed you like a dish rag over a patch of thirsty vines, you bled out so fast you forgot to scream. Okay, that's pretty vivid. Let's go. Alright, so we need to find some kind of cave with a disc in it. Okay, looks like we have a Pugra here and a jungle lurker. And probably a couple of others. I don't think this is going to be that hard of a fight. Yeah, we'll take her out first, and then we'll have to deal with everyone else. There's a guy behind us, but that's not going to be a problem. There's a couple of, looks like wisps up there. Yeah, I don't want the bear tanking this guy. I want to have my tank up here and then put the bear down here. Let's try to switch him. Oh, we just focus him down. That works too. Alright, that was a pretty quick fight. Let's go see what loot we got. I think all these trees have like hidden stashes underneath them. Okay, not too bad. Exceptional mace. That's gonna give it some gold. What is this? Oh, that's the body. I thought it was in the tree for some reason. Yeah, we do get a few enchanting items that we can pick up from here. Alright, let's talk to this soul, see what they say. This fragment of soul vibrates with a sense of deep worry and hesitation. As you draw closer, it drifts towards you with a sense of blind urgency. You pant with exertion as you flee, clutching an ornate golden ring in both hands. The hip-deep water slows your frenzied escape, but you persist with some tattered memory of hope. A pained shriek rings out from the jungle. You turn back, distracted, and manage to run headlong into a towering form. The creature swivels her attention down at you. She plucks you up with a bony talon as she would a doll. Through the haze of disorientation, you make out her pitted face and milk-white eyes. Cackling, she snatches the golden ring and hangs it on the branch of a tall, gnarled tree. She tells you of the awful fate you'll suffer, feeding her grove, watering her children, but she makes it all sound like an honor. You wish you could believe her. The vision disperses in a cloud of pain and confusion.
Yes?
Okay, so let's move on.
Let's keep quiet.
This isn't a very big zone, if I remember correctly, and I think it's only just this one level.
Wait, look there.
Okay, let's just let's back up, and I think there's another mob back here as well.
Out of my way!
We'll have to fight them all here. We can group them up, at least right here in this area, which will be nice. Just need to make sure we get all of them in this one spot.
Might wanna come.
Yes? I'm here.
Okay, yeah, this won't be too bad. It's not like they have a lot of tactics that they can pull off being animals. Just grab some ogres and then we'll clean this up fairly quickly. Let's do Death Ring. That's actually a fun spell, especially if they're all near death.
Nothing I can do.
Yeah, they're all gonna die fairly soon.
Yes?
Alright, they have all died. Let's go and see what they have on them. This looks like that cave that that other soul was talking about. Yeah, there is the inner ring. We just need to find the outer ring now. Then we can activate the device.
The better part of valor.
Of course.
It is the charge of all living things to safeguard Adra. The gods will know us by our fealty to this covenant. Alright, so what's left? I think we have to go, yeah, just to the other side and then clear that area out. I think we'll be fine after that. And that's the place we need to bring the rings to. Yeah, we already talked to this soul here.
Well, this is a whole lot fancier than what we've seen. Who do you suppose lived here? And when?
Let's talk to this soul to get some more clues. This soul flits about in hasty, panic bursts. It eases closer to you with anticipation. They laughed at your hours of studying the runic script of the ancient Hawana, but here you are, poring over gold inscriptions while they scratch their heads. You promise yourself a good boast on the journey back to Nekataka. No one believes the Hawana could have forged a device like the Golden Wheel, but you stay silent on the matter. The Ingwithians built more for functionality than beauty, and this is art. Rotating the control disc and pressing panels had you so engrossed that you mistakenly entered the wrong combination. A slit opened in the disc, discharging a gas that brought you to your knees, coughing loud enough to summon a creature whose shape you could barely perceive through the haze of pain. Boasting would have to wait.
Yes, at once.
Okay, let's stealth and then let's check out this bottom left corner. Then we'll work our way up to the top. Alright, let's see if we can go around and get a better angle when we attack. I just don't want anything to come up from behind us. I don't want to grab two groups at once.
I'll take
The harvest of Kuiki blooms without toil. The fruit of the dead sustains the living. Okay, we just need to make sure we kill this Pugra as fast as possible. We can kill this tiger as well. It's not going to be too big of a deal.
Who am I punching?
What can I do? Yes?
Just take you.
Okay, tiger's dead. I'm just going to do some summons, and then we should be able to kill this Pugra. Let's get everybody topped off.
Yes?
Oh yeah, we do need to kill these bogs oozes first because they can cast Plague of Insects. Yeah, I think we're done. This battle's pretty much won in our favor. Yeah, that was fairly easy. As long as we can manage all the aggro on our tank, we're definitely in a good spot in most battles. Let's gather all the loot up. We did find a hidden stash underneath this tree, which the Pugrove's guarding. Oh yeah, it's just a ring of minor deflection. We can sell it though, get some money for it.
Yes?
I'm here.
Oh, I almost forgot to mention, I did actually find a gun in my inventory from when we fought that other Pugrar on the island in the previous episode. I'm gonna give it to my wizard to see if she can use it. It is a soulbound item. Okay, found another pet. A cat named Little Babs. Okay. +1 dexterity and +3 deflection against melee weapons.
What can I do?
That's more on the defensive side I'm wanting. Okay, so let's continue on to the north. Alright, let's move a little bit further up ahead. I think this is the last group we actually need to fight.
What's this?
Oh, there they are. Okay. Let's try to pick this person off over here without drawing the rest of their attention. Let's attack her.
Oh, strong jaw!
Trespasser! Vile defiler!
A stench of rot hovers over the Menpugra. She points a crooked, wand-like finger at you and advances. Are you responsible for this blight?
We do not speak to the fertilizer.
She halts her step to regard you with an affronted snarl.
You are nothing. but water to feed our young, soil to birth our seed.
She extends both her arms and shrieks a high-pitched call. Vines uncoil from the ground beneath your feet and tense with hungry anticipation. Call off your pets before I cut them off at the root.
Ha! Your furious water will feed our garden long after you are a withered husk.
Suddenly she stops herself, pinching her lips and narrowing her eyes. The conviction of your words has given her pause.
So, you're more than just some fool brawler, like all the rest.
Pulling a ropey length of gore from between her long fingers, she lowers it into her gaping mouth and chews thoughtfully.
Then we will hearken to your chatter, for now.
Narrows her eyes and waits, swaying like a willow and rubbing her dry fingers together like kindling. Let's show her the spine of thicket green. This staff may help you with the corruption of your grove.
Ha! You wave the arm of a cousin and speak to me of corruption? The grove is our vigil. It is you and the rest of Eora that sours.
You protect only a ruin, a memory, not what I see around me. She bares her teeth and takes a combative step closer. Her foot sinks into the mud, and she pries it up with a wet, sucking sound. She blinks down at the rotted earth.
We look out on our garden and see green, bounty, life. The oldest cycle made healthy after the blight of Ukaizo's fall. Is this not so?
She squints, taking in her surroundings without knowing where to settle her gaze. Perhaps once, not any longer. She snarls, drawing her hand across her mouth and wiping a line of sap away.
This brackish water. I have rooted here for centuries, and I recognize nothing.
Her spindly arms fall to her side with a sound of splintering wood.
The grove does not die. No, it lives in death.
This staff can heal you if you let me try. She closes her eyes in a beckoning gesture, narrowing her eyes as you approach. This corrupted tree bows crookedly under its own weight. Every limb drips with thick, putrid sap. Its vines have entangled the tip of an Audra pillar and seem to be infesting it with the same rot that permeates the surrounding jungle. Let's investigate it. You shift aside leaves and vines, poking your fingers into an ooze-filled knothole. The sap running down the bark is both hot and uncommonly sticky. Down at its core, the tree is still green and alive. It won't be long before the whole organism becomes a ravening parasite, but it seems aware enough to slow the inevitable decline. Something in your pack jerks and twitches. It's the spine of the thicket green. The wood pulses with ghostly white light, trembling slightly as you stand near the tree. What? The staff twists in your hands like a living limb, wrenching itself in the direction of the blighted tree. It seems eager to plunge into those rivulets of dark sap. Healing magic was kindled in the old wood. Okay, we're going to have a druid whisper to the tree, convince it to give up the corruption in its heart. Godlike healer approaches the tree with an anxious glance in your direction. The vines encircling the trunk tighten in response. As our healer lays his hands on the bark, the taller branches sway in a hypnotic pattern. Godlike healer concentrates with a furrowed brow. While our healer is distracted, you feel a presence awaken and assert itself in your mind. What corrupted life endures inside the tree is more interested in you by far. The core of the tree offers you desperate images of health, long life, and food, all dark promises. Temptation and want are the only motives the tree seems to understand anymore. Let's reject the false promises. A vine lashes out, making a desperate attempt to ensnare you. It makes only a brief glancing contact, but the tree's presence in your thoughts grows weightier. No sooner is the contact made than the vine withdraws, a mixture of hesitation and fear sending it retreating back to the tree with shuddering and snake-like motions. Something inside you has frightened the ancient rot, or else given it pause. You hear a sound like a rock splitting in half. Dark sap oozes from the cracks between the bark, sizzling when it touches the ground. A creaking of wood follows as vibrant color slowly eases up the roots of the healthy tree. Mangpagua turns to you and blinks with surprise, her vision sharper and more focused than before.
That thing I was, she is no more, but I carry enough of her to know the meaning of gratitude. Thank you.
She nods.
I collected a small hoard of trinkets from visitors. We have no need of these trophies.
She gestures to the hollow of her tree, squinting at the bark as it struggles to recognize her surroundings. What will you do now?
This grove rotted a blink of an eye ago, by Aora's reckoning. I will grow and replenish what we lost.
She sighs, surveying the jungle and taking in the enormity of her task.
Taming it will be a chore, but there is time.
She nods. Farewell.
More of my daughters may yet roam this jungle, with my poison coursing through their roots.
She looks out to the tree line with sorrow.
I cannot stop them from bringing you harm, and I will not punish you for bringing them rest.
Her sigh sends a rustle through the surrounding leaves. Oh, speaking of being attacked.
What can I do?
This thing isn't doing the job.
Yeah, I like the sinister laugh at the end. Okay, so we actually were able to heal the tree, which is a good outcome. And if we look at our inventory, I can show you the Spine of Green Thicket, which is a staff I got from Nekataka. This is the main reason why we actually got the ability to heal the tree and not have to fight them and kill them all. That, and then also I am a nature godlike, which helps out in this quest line as well. I mean, the alternative is you just to kill them all, and then you get some other bonuses to that. You get to have extra stuff for your enchanting if you wanted to. At this point, I have a good amount of money. I don't really need to have that. So another cool thing about this is that this storyline behind this tree is that the tree was wrapped around this Adra pillar, and the Adra pillar had a soul in it that was corrupted, and it was causing the tree to be corrupted, which was also causing the people around it to be corrupted. This is very similar to what happened at Pokokahara, where a corrupted soul infiltrated the Adra pillar and caused the storms that appeared around the Tikawara area.
As long as I don't get caught.
So just a little bit of storyline that's pretty interesting to follow up on. Oh, okay, we've got another figurine that we can summon with.
I'm here. I'd be glad to.
Alright, let's just see what everything we got from this place. Let's sort by time. Okay, we do have the other gold ring. We have a spider. We have another shield. It says incoming weapon damage is reduced as health is lost. 15% max. This is actually not a bad shield. It would be really good for Edar if he had a tank. He does specialize in medium shields. I do like the other shield he has on right now, which is from the Magrin's Temple. We did get another amulet, Rot Ward, which does 15% resistance to nature-based attacks. And that's it. Oh, and the gun that I found in my inventory that my mage is now using is this thing. It's called Blightheart. And I actually found it in one of the burial sites. If you look in the last episode, you'll see where I found it at. I just didn't know it was a soulbound item. So once the item is soulbound, I can meet some requirements, like 30 dexterity afflictions afflicted against my enemies, and that'll get me the ability to upgrade it, essentially. And this gun is available to chanters, wizards, and rangers. I just didn't think my ranger would actually need this because
Yes?
they already have the best weapon in the game for them. So I figured I'd give it to my mage. Alright, last thing we need to do here is go to the center.
Happily.
Like we've done everything else in this zone. Yeah, it's all explored. So we just need to interact with this in the middle. This massive golden disc is covered with intricate engravings and inscriptions. You were able to pick out symbols representing plants, wildlife, and boats, but there's no discernible order or meaning to their configuration. You note that the vacant depression in the control panel matches the engraved rings you found in the ruins. Let's study the engravings. You can vaguely see how the different points of the engravings seem to match up, forming a coherent shape in spite of being situated on opposing sides of the carving. A depression in the ring resembles a control panel, which could be used to manipulate the moving parts of the disc, though it is missing something. Okay, so we slide the golden wheels onto the control panel. The ring settles into place, fitting neatly around their central axis. The outer ring is inscribed with passages in the Hawaiian runic language. Okay. 4 symbols decorate the inner wheel. They show pillars of luminous adra, the native koiki fruit, a depiction of the Hawaiian water-shaping art, and a lovingly engraved island. The way these inscriptions align suggests a relationship between the two. Something about the island catches your attention. The ruins surrounding it are particularly elaborate, and every measurement uses it as a point of origin. It's Ukaizo. A set of dots on the inscribed panels of the outer ring suggests that it should be rotated in a sequence, starting from 1 and ending in 4. Okay, so we rotate the wheel into the first configuration. Okay, so we need to solve this puzzle based on what we learned from the inscriptions that we found around the ruins. The first inscription reads, "Though their roots grow from Rakihu's lightless bowels, their yield is a welcome reprieve." That sounds like the koiki fruits. I'm gonna hit number 3. You turn the wheel until the passage aligns with a symbol of the koiki fruit. The way the control panel sits on top of a disc suggests that you could push this configuration down. So if you do mess this up, you will unleash a trap on your party. Okay, let's press down on the metalwork. You press your weight on the panel. Deep inside the disc, you hear the rotation of heavy parts. The gold rings spring back up, ready to be spun again. The next inscription reads, "Our covenant to safeguard. Those petrified limbs are the health and safety of the Deadfire." Now, this sounds like Luminous Adra. So let's turn the wheel to align the inscription with the symbol of Luminous Adra. You spin the wheels until the inscription aligns with the symbol of Luminous Adra, and press down the metalwork. The wheels settle into place with some resistance, likely owing to age and neglect. Beneath the disc, the groaning of gears sounds once more. The next inscription reads, "Nagati gifted her chosen people with dominion over her dark, turbulent kingdom." So that'll probably be the water shaping. You turn the wheel, lining up a symbol of water shaping with the inscription. Press it down. The cacophonous grinding sound builds from somewhere beneath the disc. Whether this indicates a favorable outcome or not remains to be seen. The final inscription reads, "Our origin, our destination, our home. Wherever we go, she is the horizon." That's going to be Ukaizo. It takes an extra hard push, but the rings settle into place. A long silence follows, in which you are forced to wonder whether or not you input the correct combination, and what consequences might follow either way. Manipulating the control panel has rotated the rings of a massive inner disc into a new configuration, one that lights up with neat precision. The engravings intersect in a manner that forms the shape of the Deadfire. The emerging image is not exactly a map, but an index of islands and coordinates organized in relation to each other. You recognize several of the cited locations as containing nothing but open water. Charting a path by this obsolete system now would be impossible. The word Ukaizo stands out from the other named islands. Take a rubbing of the disc in its completed form. Judging by your surroundings, this coordinate system has gone untouched for millennia. Your findings may be of interest to someone. Okay, so we have the Hawana chart now. Whether or not this treasure should be available to just anyone who happens by is another matter. The gold rings are resolutely locked in place. Let's destroy the disc. You find a heavy rock and hoist it above the disc. Smashing the rotational mechanism would guarantee that the navigational secret remains yours alone. I never liked that map at our friends. Okay, let's destroy the disc. You bring the rock down, splitting a mighty crack down the stonework. Something inside slips free and tumbles down a great distance. Your next blow falls harder still. The ancient disc crumbles, collapsing under its weight and rendering the rotational mechanism useless. The navigational chart is neither functional nor recognizable in its current state. Its secrets are safe. Okay, so we did make it through a Motare Kōzi, and we do have our chart now, a place that points us to the lost city of Ukaizo, which is probably going to be needed by several different parties. And we're the only person that has this map now. So this is going to be it for this episode. Thank you for watching this. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.